Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you do check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Link to that at the top of the chat and also in the description below. We share updates there, trading updates, trading ideas, discussions, find out more about the prop firm Elevating Traders. And of course, you can find your discount code there as well. So if you're interested, make sure you go check it out. And yeah, you can find out a lot more over there. So go check it out. Excuse me. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Happy Thursday, everyone. What's up, Ninad? Welcome to the stream. What's up, Kazim? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Welcome. What's up, Mo? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. What's up, Ahmed? Welcome to the stream. Good morning. So we've got an interesting, well, tomorrow's interesting because we do have NFP on Friday. So it is, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing good as well, Kazim. So we do have NFP on Friday. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow. And you go double check the news for today, just to make sure. Okay, so we've got jobless claims in the afternoon, 1:30. Yeah, that's about it for today. So today, pretty much okay, nothing too crazy. But then tomorrow we've got GDP for Euro, we've got unemployment rate for Euro, got CAD unemployment rate as well. NFP for USD, of course, Michigan consumer sentiment in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. So yeah, yesterday we should be pretty busy in terms of the news. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that regard. But my bias is pretty much still set with USD and USD related markets. I already know what I'm looking at. What's up, that high elf? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Gordon, what's up? Good morning. Hope you're well. I'm doing good. That's good to hear. S&P 500. Yes, we'll go through a bunch of USD markets. And of course, we'll go through some indices as well. RT, what's up? Always looking forward to the live. Appreciate it, my man. Hope you're doing well. Euro longs got in at 150. Okay, let me go through some USD pairs, then we'll go through the rest of the market. So first things first, DXY. What are we doing in that realm? Well, dollar looks like it's still struggling to push up, and that's kind of the idea we're looking for. We're looking for a lower high for the market to push back down. Again, I've gone over where we're trading on the higher time frames. We've just taken out a major high here on the left. Of course, trading at major resistance. You can see last week's candle, really nice bearish engulfing candle there as well. So I'm anticipating more downside here for the dollar. It might just be a retracement for price to now potentially go a lot higher. That could be the case. It could be a situation where we top out over here at the high of the range. We might see a push all the way back down. Again, we're not fortune tellers, but we're traders. We're just looking to buy and sell in areas of value. I know that price is really having a tough time trying to break through this area. So there's a good chance we do see some more downside, especially with the weekly candle close we just got. So dropping to the 4-hour chart, we saw the breaker structure last week, actually. Saw the breaker structure last week. And now we're looking at the correction of that for a lower high. I did talk about an area of confluence just above where price is trading. So as you can see, I draw the fib from the high to the low. You got the 0.5, 0.618, and those are the areas which I want to be taking my trades at and looking for opportunities in. And it lines up very well with the resistance here on the left. And if I take that across, you can see it's more or less in between that 0.5 and 0.618. So a really nice area of confluence. And of course, we are looking for that head and shoulder pattern. So you got the left, you got the head, and of course, you got the right shoulder there. So I was hoping yesterday that dollar could have one more push to the upside. It kind of did, but just not enough to hit that area and then potentially get the sell-off from that 107 mark. It looks like we're struggling. A lot of wicks to the upper side, bit of a double top there, so potentially might roll over now. But it would be nice if dollar had one more move to the upside in it to go and test these areas. Hopefully that could provide some opportunities on pound USD, which we'll get to in a second. But that would be a nice opportunity there for USD for more downside. But the bias is still very much bearish. Areas I'm looking for price to get to, this being 105,400, and this being another 104,600. So that's still very much the plan. And then once we get to these areas, we can start to monitor price a bit more closely, whether we're going to turn around and put that higher low in and attack to the upside again, or are we going to go for a big meltdown? We'll find those answers to those questions when we do see that downside. But for now, still pretty bearish in USD, and this is still the move I'm after. So taking that into consideration in Euro USD, I'm pretty much looking for the inverse of this move. Of course, you can see the left head and of course the right shoulder forming there. Again, the risk reward is kind of my issue with Euro. Not looking too good, and of course we haven't even broken through structure yet. So in terms of me getting involved, I need that break of structure. So I can't be looking for trades just yet for Euro, but what I would be looking for is potentially that break of structure and then the next pullback afterwards. So that might be the trade I do get, which again is still a few days away from forming. Still need to get the break of structure, then we need to get the pullback. So that could take 3-4 days in itself. But we are at some nice areas. So I'm very much interested in Euro. Again, similar situation with the dollar. We took out some major highs, major lows there. Sorry. That price is still dancing at this level of support, and there is room for us to push higher. So taking that into consideration, where we're trading, we've had such a big drop for Euro over the past few weeks. Now we look very, very tied to the downside. So if we do get that break of structure, that's a key sign, key piece of evidence that possibly we are going to start to see some upside now. And similar to the dollar, these are the areas I'll be looking for price to get to, 1.07 and just underneath 1.08 back to this area here as well. So yeah, possibly this is the opportunity that I do get with Euro, of course, as price develops and we get more information. Maybe it looks a little bit different to that, but that's the situation after the break of the highs, evidence that we're shifting, and then I'll be looking for the next pullback afterwards. But the bias for Euro is definitely still bullish. Looks like we are really struggling at the lows right now. I spoke yesterday, said that this looks like a nice buy, or the day before actually. And we came back to retest it. So it looks like prices come back to hold that level of support. And we see a really nice reaction yesterday. So I do think there's a good chance we do see some upside for Euro over the next couple of days. In terms of pound USD, which is the one I'm a bit more interested in, and it looks a little bit better in terms of the price action. I'm still waiting either for a bigger pullback or potentially a double bottom back at the lows here. So if price was to come back and retest the low, I would very much be looking for buying opportunities on that area at 1.25. The reason why I like pound USD is because we did break structure here. You can see price did just about take out the high. Then we had a nice pullback. The only reason why I didn't get involved with pound USD is because of the risk reward element. If I did take the trade there with stop losses, with my stop loss a few pips below, I'm not even looking at a one-to-one back to the highs there, which is a no-no for me. So that's why I have stayed at the market, which is why I was also hoping USD would have that bigger pullback, which I was referring to earlier, because that would give me the bigger pullback on pound as well, and hopefully a better risk reward back to the high. But nonetheless, it looks like price is slowly creeping to the upside. Looks like we're back at resistance again, struggling a little bit. Possibly we might see another break of the high, and hopefully maybe the next pullback provides nice long opportunities. Of course, we'll see that as it unfolds, but my bias is pretty much set in stone for now, unless something crazy happens. I'm looking for the buying opportunities. Don't really have one just yet as we approach resistance. If anything, it might be a nice short temporarily, but I'm only looking at upside now for pound, and targets for this one is still back at the high or the low here. Sorry, 1.285. We could go a lot further. If I expand to the weekly chart, it does look like price is still forming these higher lows. This could be another one. So there is a lot of room to the upside for pound, potentially a big swing to the highs there. But we'll take it step by step. There's still a lot of bearish momentum in the market. And in fairness, we haven't seen a lot of bullish momentum yet. So I would be a little bit wary of these areas. But that's still the move I'm after for pound USD. In terms of dollar CAD, I'm still waiting for a big break of structure with this one as well. This one's taking its sweet time, but I'm still looking for this low to break. This was the last low, which gave us that massive high over there. So I'm waiting for this to break so I can start look to sell USD CAD. So I need structure to be on my side first before I can short. maybe a setup like this does end up forming, get the next lower high. So one there, second there, potentially a third. And that could be the opportunity because, again, the areas we're trading at is very, very significant. Major swing higher here on the weekly chart. We just about pinched it. I'm not quite sold on the breakout yet. So that's why I'm looking for that fake out, looking for price to turn around. But of course, I need that that structure break first before I can look for those opportunities, and hopefully that can come around in the next few days, and maybe a pullback and a retest of this 1.4 area could look like a nice opportunity. So that's kind of where I'm at with USD CAD. Again, still in line with that USD bias as well. If USD does drop, I do expect that to help dollar CAD out and see some downside too. Of course, if dollar CAD just keeps being bullish and we break the highs, then I'll back away from that bearish bias. I mean, it wouldn't be a trade for me in the first place because we didn't take out the lows. But I would rethink that bias, and maybe we are getting a big breakout, and maybe we are looking to really continue that momentum. So yeah, at that point, I'll probably be looking at pullbacks and some buying opportunities. But for now, that is what I'm after. In terms of Aussie dollar, so Aussie dollar, I'm still looking at a bit of a reversal for this one at the 0.64 area. I believe we just about tested it yesterday. So if I drop back to the 4-hour chart, you can see we just about tested it. So I'm waiting for price to shift in structure as well, similar to what we've seen with euro, similar to what we've seen with pound, and similar to what we've seen with dollar CAD. I want price to break structure first, and then I look to take those higher lows or lower highs in the case of dollar CAD. So I'm looking for this one to start shifting in structure and then find the higher low somewhere. We just had the first test of the zone, seen a nice reaction, but not enough for me to jump into a trade just yet. But it is definitely trading at a nice area. Expand back to the daily chart, you can see massive level of support. We've seen a really big bounce 2 prior occasions, so there's a good chance we could see a third. And at least some upside. It doesn't have to be a swing all the way back to the highs there for us to make a good profit. Even a quarter or a third of the way, still looking at healthy, depending on your entry, healthy risk reward opportunity. So that's really the plan there with Aussie dollar. As the USD, similar situation here as well. I did speak on the double bottom here yesterday, because we did get back to a very significant low as well, back down at this area, which is more or less 0.58. Really nice bounce last week, I believe, when we got here. Yep, last week. And looks like price may be coming back for a double bottom. So if price was to spill over, go and test that same area, I think this is a nice area for a buy. Still a little bit aggressive because we never really got the break of structure, which is the break of this high. So it's a little bit aggressive because we haven't necessarily shifted bullish yet, but you're still in a nice area, and a double bottom is always a nice opportunity if used correctly. So I do think this is a nice opportunity and possibly could be a start of a really big move. So the risk reward is very high as well. Keeps your stops relatively close. If price does break through, walk away from the opportunity. But yeah, New Zealand dollar, I do like the upside for this one as well. Overall, very bullish on this one, expecting at least a bounce. Again, probably not all the way back to the highs. It could be, but we don't necessarily need it to be that far for us to make a good return on these opportunities. Then in terms of gold and silver, yeah, gold is just still looking very corrective. So I'm not very interested in the price action with gold, I must admit. I did say this looks like a decent sell opportunity. I still think it does because of how corrective price is moving. Really big drop past couple of days, and then we've been very, very corrective. So a push back into that area, there's a good chance we probably do react and do see another move down. I just wouldn't be too optimistic in terms of how far you would look to take that. Potentially these lows here could be where price gets to, but we are having a lot of trouble at the low here as well. So I think that's a sensible target to have back into the wick low there, where we started to retrace from. I think that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, gold, I think shorts around 2670, 2680 look good. It looks like we're slowly building up and slowly getting to that area. If we keep that up and keep that corrective characteristic up, I do think this still looks like a nice trade. And of course, as I mentioned yesterday, it lines up very well with that prior high there, which hopefully will be turning resistance again. So I think the shorts look good. Don't really have a good read on the intra-week, intraday price action for gold. It's a bit all over the place. Longer term, I'm still very bullish on. But as I keep saying, I don't really have a bullish setup to trade yet or look to trade yet. Maybe if price goes and breaks the highs again, then I could be looking at something like that to take it higher. But yeah, a long, long way away from that. And then, of course, silver. Silver, I do like silver. I do like silver. It looks like it's slowly picking up the pace to the upside. Still want price to go and break through the highs here very well. So I still need a lot more from silver before I start looking for some trade ideas. But essentially what I'm looking for is the break of the high and then pullbacks afterwards for the buy. Because it looks to me that price is forming this really nice double bottom here. So test it once, test it twice, reaction. And of course, if I go to the daily chart, you can see a lovely fib from the low to the high. We pull back into the 0.618, lovely double bottom. If you do get that break of structure, I do anticipate higher lows shortly afterwards, especially if you can break through the high here on the left around 32.3, 32.4, break above that, pullbacks afterwards. I think that looks like a really nice trade back to the highs and potentially a lot further. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the USD markets. I do like silver. It looks like it's slowly taking shape, but still got to wait a little bit longer. But overall, it looks like a really nice opportunity. And of course, I think the risk reward looks phenomenal. So it's definitely an opportunity which I'll be looking to trade. But I have to stay patient before that happens. But yeah, still pretty bearish on USD, expecting more weakness on that part. We'll go through some indices next, see what's cooking over there, and then we'll go through some more yen pairs as well. High Elf says your yen longs. We'll go through that too. Ninad, okay, took a small profit on BTC buy position. Yeah, Bitcoin hit the 100K mark. Wow, wow, wow. Big things from Bitcoin there. We'll take a look at that 100%. Karis, good morning. Hope you're well. Okay, crude oil, we'll take a look. No problem. Yilmaz, Bank of Japan. When's that? Yeah, let me know when that Bank of Japan is coming. So I can't see anything on my calendar unless I'm just blind, which could be the case. Okay, interest hike was approaching. Okay. Yes, I will go through dollar yen and GJ for you. I'll go through some. I'm going to go through some indices first, and then we'll go take a look at Bitcoin and some of the yen pairs as well. No, I have not been trading natural gas. I've never traded natural gas in my life, but I can take a look at it if you want me to. Okay, 18, 19 December. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that because, yeah, I'm still looking to attack the yen pairs to the downside pretty heavy as long as price action aligns with that bias, which so far it does. Of course, 18th, 19th of December, still got at least a couple of weeks before we do get to those dates there. So a lot can happen in that time. But yeah, I'm still very heavy short bias for yen at the moment. What's up, Darkashon? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, we just went through USD markets, took a look at the DXY, what my bias is there. Still looking at a lot of weakness across the board for the dollar. And we're about to go through some indices. So yeah, S&P doing S&P things right now, seeing new all-time highs and doing it like it's nothing. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to do at these prices unless you're going to drop to the lower time frames, intraday, hourly and below, and try and not necessarily scalp, but try and buy those very minute dips that S&P provides. So as you can see there, very small dip, very small dip. Haven't seen one for a while. Maybe we do see one this afternoon and then another push up. So those are the type of dips you'll be looking at to take advantage of if you're looking at intraday trading S&P 500, because at new all-time highs, you've seen a very confident bullish swing on the 4-hour chart. So if you're looking at this time frame, the 4-hour chart, you're waiting for the next bearish cycle, the next pullback for your next opportunity. So that's really what I would be after for S&P, the next pullback. to the downside. If you can get pulled back into the 50, that'd be very nice. Some opportunities here, maybe around where that gap presents itself there, could be a nice trade. But again, that could take a few days to pan out. So if you're eager to trade S&P and ride that momentum, because yes, you do expect a retracement at some point, but you don't know exactly when that could happen. We could still see another big move before that does eventually retrace, and that big move could still be looking to take advantage of that. So if you're on the lower time frames, I'll just be looking to buy those dips to ride that momentum until proven otherwise. So until structure breaks or maybe a trend line breaks, then I'll start to back away. But yeah, in terms of the 4-hour point of view, looking for that bigger swing, and then I can start to discuss some long opportunities. But yeah, everything's very, very bullish now with the S&P daily chart, weekly chart momentum still skyrocketing to the upside. So only looking for longs in this situation. Have a quick look at US 30. So yeah, US 30, similar characteristics, still very bullish. This one's a little bit dry. You can see the consolidation we have here. So it hasn't really done much in the past few days, but overall, still trading at all-time highs as well. And I still do like this area down here, which is around the 44K mark, just underneath it. Nice, healthy area of demand where we pause for a few hours, big strong move to the upside. We still do have the gap here to fill as well. So there's another reason why you could probably see some downside pretty soon. But I still think this is a nice, comfortable area to be looking to long US 30, find some opportunities there and take it back to the high. So yeah, US 30 still very bullish. Again, expand to the daily chart. All I'm seeing is higher highs and higher lows. So still very bullish characteristics. Only thing I'll be looking to do in this market is looking for buying opportunities. Avoiding kind of sells. There's no point, unless you're scalping, there's no point to hold any short opportunities for long, because the chances are we're just going to keep pushing higher. So this is really where the focus lies for the Dow Jones. And in terms of the Nas, of course, everything is pretty much similar with these indices, but look at that. Very, very bullish. And of course, broken through the highs there with ease. So yeah, with Nas, with such a confident move, again, it's about looking for the corrections as well. If I whip out the Fibonacci from the high from the low to the high, this area looks like a really nice place for a buy, just about the 50. If you push a little bit higher, it might the 50 might be trading a little bit better through that level. But in terms of confluence, I like this area. We broke through with a lot of momentum, never came back for the retest. Now the market's a little bit stretched, a little bit overextended. We might be seeing that pullback pretty soon. And this is like a really nice place to be looking for those buys and the next wave. So yeah, if you're in the intraday time frames, you're kind of just looking to buy those dips. I think S&P looks good for that. I think the Nas and US 30 is not looking that great. The Nas is just a little bit too overextended, and US 30 is kind of consolidating still. So I would avoid looking at those ones intraday. But S&P is moving pretty clean. We highlighted a nice trend line there as well, connecting the higher lows. So this to me still looks like a nice opportunity to take price higher. So yeah, very bullish across the board on the US indices. Expect a big pullback at some point, of course, but for now, everything's pretty bullish. So still attacking to the upside. And of course, Bitcoin as well. Lovely move to the upside this morning, or early hours of the morning, was it? No, it actually started last night, actually. But yeah, we've hit the 100K mark. We've gone and put that to bed. So what's next with Bitcoin? Well, who knows what's next? We could be flying to 120, 140K, or maybe it's time to retrace. Who knows? All I can say is that momentum is still intact and we're still looking very bullish. The key thing about the prior price action with Bitcoin, it was a little bit dry. You can see the move here was a little bit corrective. So that's why I anticipated that bigger pullback. I said we might come back and retest the lows first before we push. Didn't quite happen. Price just consolidated before the big strong move up. But we were looking a little bit tired over here. Now we're not looking tired anymore. We're seeing price action like we were seeing back over here, which is a strong sign that the buyers are back in town. And if we can sustain that, yeah, Bitcoin can see a very big run to the upside again. So I'll just be expecting naturally more upside. Again, maybe you have a bit of a correction just after taking out the highs, maybe some profit taking at 100K maybe, but naturally momentum's back with the buyers again. So I do think we'll just likely see higher prices. In terms of pullback opportunities, maybe another one back to this area. Been pretty consistent with the higher lows now. So something like that would probably look good. Nice correct to move back down. Might be a nice little buy opportunity to take it up from there. So that's kind of the thesis with Bitcoin. And if I take a look at Ethereum whilst we're on the topic, then I'll go through oil as well. Ethereum, pretty strong move to the upside. Ethereum is looking really exciting because Ethereum's nowhere near its all-time high. So this one's still got a lot of work to do. All-time highs more or less around here, just below 5K. And we haven't even taken out the high we made earlier this year. So it's not even a yearly high yet with Ethereum, but it has broken out that channel. So I do think that's where we're on to. That's where our next pit stop is most likely. We broke out the channel, I think, last week or the week before. And I said, as long as we stay above that, above 3,400, we're probably likely going to keep pushing. And this is where our next big target is. And of course, once we take that out, then all eyes will shift back to the all-time highs with Ethereum. And then it's crazy again. Bitcoin all-time highs, Ethereum all-time highs. Crypto is very much on the up at that point in time. So yeah, I think Ethereum is a really nice opportunity. A lot of momentum since it doesn't look like we're going to get the retest of 3,400. I'd say the next best opportunity now would be the retest of the high here and just look to flow with that momentum. So yeah, onwards and upwards for Ethereum as well. Not really showing much signs of slowing down. So yeah, looking pretty bullish to me. We'll go through oil, and then I'll take a look at natural gas as well for Kazim. What's up, Kwame? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. If I've missed out a pair someone's requested earlier and I forgot about it, just remind me if just remind me. Bit of profit 99.422. Yeah, I mean, it depends what you're looking for. If you're just looking to trade Bitcoin, you're not necessarily looking to hold on for the home run, are you? I mean, it would be nice to do that, of course, but you don't necessarily know because in another universe, price might hit the 99.422 and then reverse, and then you'd be very, very happy about taking profit there. But yeah, overall, Bitcoin's doing Bitcoin things right now. I think just because of the climate Bitcoin's in, it's always sensible to leave positions on or trail stops because you just don't know with Bitcoin. Yes, maybe price hits the high and comes back down, but with Bitcoin, it could very much explode through that high and increase by 20% as well. So it's the type of situation when you want to leave money on the table, and it makes sense to do that. If you're trading Euro USD, for example, yeah, it makes sense to take your profit because it would take pretty much something crazy for Euro USD to do a 20% move in a day or in a week or whatever. So that would be crazy. So yeah, that's why with crypto you always want to leave a bit more money on the table because of that potential move. Same with gold and silver as well. But FX, yeah, you can take your money and run sort of thing. But anyway, let's go through oil. So oil I haven't actually looked too much in a while. Not really a pair. Well, it's not a pair that I trade, but haven't had a few requests for oil in probably a few days. Already on the daily time frame. Yeah, I haven't had a request for oil in a few days. I haven't really been keeping up to date with the price action, but it looks like we haven't really done much, to be fair. Last time I was probably looking at oil, I think we're probably trading around here-ish. Had a bit of a bounce, come back down again, not really doing too much. So I still like that 72 level up here. This is the level I said if price was to get back to, I think that would be a really nice place to short from because, of course, it's acted as resistance very, very well on 3 previous occasions, acted as support very well too. So naturally, that's kind of where I expect price to sell off from if we were to get back there again. Right now, we're kind of trading in the middle of the range. So you've got, of course, the high, which is more or less around 72. You've got the low, which is more or less around 67. So to me, oil's in the middle of a range. So I wouldn't be looking to do anything with oil at these prices. I mean, it does look like we're starting to form some lower highs here. 1, 2, maybe 3 there as well. So maybe we are starting to make a bit of a move to the downside. Ooh, wrong tool. Maybe we are starting to make a bit of a move to the downside for oil. but it wouldn't be an opportunity which I look to take myself because of the conditions and whereabouts we're trading. If I'm going to look to trade this, I want to be located up at the high. I can get a decent stop loss. Sure, nothing's guaranteed. Price can still break the level. But at least if price does break the level, when I do get stopped out, I know that, okay, I was in the wrong direction. Now it's probably time to be looking for buys. In this case, I could get stopped out 2, 3 times over and still see price make the move I'm looking for. So yeah, it's a bit more sensible to be waiting a little bit higher up. Again, not that you can't find opportunities within this area, it's just a lot more difficult. So that's kind of the areas which I want to be working with. But I would still be short bias with oil naturally because, again, expanding to the higher time frames, overall the market has been on a slight slope for quite a while with the successive daily lower highs here as well. So I do kind of expect price to have another swing lower. Whether we break through the support or not, that's a different question. But I do think there is still a bit more juice to the downside to squeeze out. So yeah, I would be bearish bias with oil, but I would want a little bit bigger of a push higher up before looking to sell first. So that's kind of where I'm at with oil. In terms of natural gas, I haven't looked at this one in a while. Is this the correct one? I think so. If it's not, let me know. But I think this is the correct one. So yeah, natural gas looks like we're in a bit of a consolidation in these parts over here. We've had a really big drop. When was this? That was back in 2023. It'd be nice to get a bit more information there. But yeah, it looks like the market's coming back into a bit of a range here. But naturally, this is a really nice place for a short because, of course, we had such a big drop. Go back to the daily chart. We had such a big drop over there, and this was the high prices kind of formed, which said, okay, we can't break above this, and we start seeing more momentum come from that same area. So naturally, this is a nice place for a short to take price back to the downside. As well as, we just made a new high there as well. So if I whip out the fib from the low to the high, this is also not a bad place for some longs back down at this area here for potentially another swing back up again. I would be looking at some shorts up at these prices. I'd probably try and catch that double top. So if price was to push back to the high, that would be a nice area for a short for me. Again, a little bit aggressive, but I know that I'm trading at a very comfortable area in the higher time frames where it makes sense to take some shorts. And if we do keep falling, then if we can get some reverse opportunities down here, it could be a nice buy to take back up again. Something like this as well. Trying to anticipate that next higher low. So if I zoom out, you can see we got one over there, second over there, and actually you can probably count this one as well. Back down here, 1, 2, 3. Could be seeing a fourth coming back into that same area. So it's an area depending where you look into. It depends on your bias. So you're looking to sell or buy natural gas. If you're looking to long down at this 2.6, 2.55 area, makes a lot of sense. If you're short bias, then I would be looking around 3.3, 3.4 for some shorts, trying to call the top there for a move down, or try and look for some reversals here to take it back up again. But that would be how I look at natural gas, really. Sells up high or buys down low. Maybe you might see some intraday sells as we come back to retest some structure here and might get a nice short from there. But yeah, I wouldn't be looking to hold that trade for too long. These are the areas where you can probably get away with holding trades a lot longer, try and catch some big swings. So yeah, that's kind of where I'd be with natural gas. But yeah, I haven't looked at that market in a while. Okay, always careful on a new high. Yeah, of course, it makes perfect sense to be careful on a new high. I think just in terms of context with like I said, with Bitcoin, when the market makes a new high with Bitcoin, it's a different situation when the market makes a new high with Euro USD or any kind of FX pair, or generally kind of any market besides crypto, because crypto can be very exponential, and it makes a new high. It could come straight back down, but it could also do 20% as well. So that's why being a little bit more aggressive in that situation might benefit more. But of course, if you were trading Euro USD, for example, we made an all-time high or new high that we haven't made in a while, then yeah, you would want to be cautious because there's a good chance Euro's coming straight back down. Movie lovers, what combination? Well, for me, I use candlestick patterns to confirm my entries. So bullish engulfing candles, bearish engulfing, hammer candles. I look a lot of wicks as well, but I keep my entries very, very simple. What I'm looking forward to the market do is basically shift the momentum. If the market is slowly falling down, then I see a nice bullish engulfing candle. That displays to me that, okay, bearish momentum is now exited, bullish momentum stepping in, and now expecting price to, push in my favor. So keep my entries very simple in terms of the analysis and finding where I want to buy and sell. That's where all the hard work is done. Now I'm just waiting for price to give me a signal that, okay, we are shifting here. Okay, I'll go through silver lastly, then we'll start to go through some of the yen pairs. Okay, yeah, JPY. Yeah, I haven't gone through any of the yen pairs yet, so I'll go through that in a second. Let me just get silver out the way, and then I will take a look for you guys. So yeah, silver, you asked, are we breaking out? It does look like price is starting to break out. And of course, as you can see by my arrows, I'm looking for a pretty big move to the upside for silver. And yeah, it does look like we're slowly getting there. That's the 5-hour chart. It does look like we're slowly getting there and possibly about to break out. Really nice candle closure yesterday. But I can't read too much into that candle closure. Reason being because we just closed back into resistance. So until I start to see some closures above this area, I can't get too excited with silver because realistically we could come straight back down into the lows and then it just becomes void. So I need price to really go and break the high first, and that will be a really nice sign to me that, okay, this double bottom looks like it's holding, and now we're seeing price break shot to the upside, higher highs. Then at that point, we're looking for a higher low, and then we're looking to take price to the upside. So silver's definitely one to keep a close eye on. I think there's a lot of opportunity here with silver. If we're going to get back to the highs there, we're a long, long way away. So whichever way you're looking at, there's upside opportunity, whether you look to try and buy those pullbacks or trying to hold a swing back to the high. There's a lot of opportunity here with silver, and I'm very bullish with this market, short term and longer term as well. So yeah, it looks like we are starting to break out, not confirmed yet, but looks like we are on our way to that. So keep an eye out for it. Hey, no problem, Nenad. Happy to help. Happy to help. So, yeah, that's kind of the take with silver. But in terms of the yen pairs, so I'm still currently short with CAD yen, still looking for an opportunity to add to the position or basically add in any yen pair, really. But we've had a really nice drop to the downside. Market's been slowly falling. But since yesterday, we had a bit of a break of structure on the lower time frame. So as you can see, price did go and break through that high there after that strong double bottom. So it does look like potentially we could see a bit of an up move here for the yen pairs, which I actually do want to see because I'm looking for that bigger retracement. We broke through this support a long time ago now, and we broke through this area here a long time ago as well. And these are the two areas which I'll be more than happy to try and find some entry confirmations to add to that position for CAD yen. I want to see a healthy pullback for this one and all the other yen pairs as well, which we'll get into in a moment, and then take some shorts there. And of course, in terms of targets, I'm looking for us to come all the way back to this low here around 103, 102.5. So there's a pretty big drop I'm looking at here for CAD yen, but it's warranted. Higher time frames look good. I was speaking about the weekly candle closure here last week. Such a confident candle to the downside, rejecting all of that resistance down the left. As you can see previously, price had such a hard time trying to break through. Again, over there, we finally did break through. Now, again, we're coming back to retest, a lot of rejection, and this is where I planned my short from. And now we're seeing such a strong close to the downside. The likelihood of us continuing that momentum back to that low here is just very, very high. Of course, nothing's 100%, but if the chance of something is high, you got to attack it. And if it's proven otherwise, you make sure you manage your risk and you move on to the next opportunity. But for me, there's such a strong close there. I do expect momentum to spill over. So if we do see some retracements for CAD Gen, it's most likely an opportunity to find those shorts to take price lower. And those two levels there, 109, 109.5, are still my areas of interest. And if I whip out the old fib from the high to the low, as you can see, we're lining up 0.5, 0.618. So those are my healthy areas of pullback. So hopefully you can find some corrections to those areas and then some continuations. But yeah, still looking at a lot more downside. If I go take a look at pound gen, so again, pound gen, nice break of structure in the lower time frames as well. Lovely double bottom down here. Tested it once, came back, respected it again, took up the high. So again, with pound gen, I'm looking at a move to the upside. I'm not looking to buy the end pairs, but it does look pretty bullish from the lower time frames. And then, yeah, with pound gen, I've spoken about this area here, 194.5, as an area which I would be comfortable shorting pound yen from. Again, getting that fib from the high to the low lines up very well with the 0.618. It'd be very nice to get some short opportunities from that same level. And again, if I expand to the daily chart, I'm looking for price to get all the way back to the low here and a lot further. I've spoken many times about what we're doing in the monthly. It looks very, very bearish longer term. We just about pinched a major high here on the monthly chart. And you can see what happened last time we did that. Pinched a high, really big sell, pinched a high, potentially another big sell as well. So there's a lot of downside opportunity for the yen pairs, pound yen included, which is why I do like the shorts for this one in the lower time frames, because I know I could potentially hold this one for long, especially with someone who uses trailing stops. You kind of just want to let the market do its thing. And trail the stops behind. So yeah, that's the opportunity I'm after. I like the lower highs prices left behind, 2, 3, 4, looking for number 5, and the continuation from that. Hopefully over the next few days we can see that pullback come to life. But yeah, pound yen 194 is the area I'm looking to short from. Hopefully you can get pulled back to that same area. In terms of euro yen, someone did say they're long from this, they're long on this one. I think this comment was a while ago. Yeah, you got in at 157.613. Let me drop to the hourly chart. 157.613. Okay, somewhere around here. So right down at that low. Yeah, pretty much caught the low on the dime there. So yeah, what's the plan with the trade, the high elf? Let us know. But I have to say, lovely entry and prices had a really nice reaction in your favor. I'm still pretty bearish on euro yen, but in terms of the intraday price action, because again, we had that double bottom there, break through the high. This could very much be a correction for price to push up. So I do think in terms of the more immediate price action, we could still see a lot more upside with euro yen. But again, where I'm looking at is still very bearish. And that's from all the way up here at 162 and this low here as well at 160.05. So quite frankly, I would like your trade to play out a lot better so I can get some sells higher up. But yeah, I think intraday it makes a lot of sense. Really nice double bottom, nice break of structure. Things are looking pretty bullish for euro yen on the intraday level. I just don't expect it to go too far. But again, what's too far? It depends on your entry, your risk, how much you're risking. Because I'm looking for it to turn around there. But if you do get a trade back there, it could be a phenomenal trade. So it's all relative. But I'm expecting a pullback essentially of that bearish move for price to then continue. And 160.5 coming to the 50, 161.5 looks good, going to 0.618. And again, in terms of targets for euro yen, expecting a push all the way back down into the low here as well. And this one on the monthly time frame makes a lot of sense as well. We go to the monthly, you can see what happened. We pinched a high on the left. We got a massive sell off to the downside. And look what's happened again. We pinched the high as well. So it could be the start of a really big move to the downside. And if you look at the close of November, very strong and bearish. I do think these wicks are pretty vulnerable. So yeah, longer term, there's a lot of downside for euro yen. just about timing those pullbacks and timing those entries, really. But overall, still looking at a lot more downside. But yeah, we might see a bit of a bounce over the next couple of days. I'll watch out with NFP tomorrow. But yeah, it does look like lower time frames, momentum shifting. Yes, well, hopefully if I do get the entry, if I do get the entry, I will look to sell Kajin again. As I said previously, if I do get pullback back to 109, 109.5, these are the areas where I look to try and add another trade to my position, because I'm really trying to take advantage of this bearish move as much as possible, to really milk the opportunity, because I'm very confident with the higher time frame bias with this one. So I stop loss is still trail just above the high here, above that level there. So I'm still leaving a lot on the table, but because of how everything is situated, it makes sense to do so. Some other trades like Euro USD, I wouldn't do that. I'd be very more aggressive with my trail stop loss. But in this case, I'm being very lenient to it. But yeah, if I do get a bigger pullback, I will look to add to the position and try and sell again. And I'm not really too bothered with which yen pair. CAD yen looks good. Pound yen looks good. We should look at Euro yen looks good. We looked at. I think Aussie yen looks really good as well. Really confident break to the downside with this one. Haven't seen much pullback. Aussie's been pretty weak, I think. But you can see we had a really big range here. Market's gone and broken to the downside. Lovely fake out to the upside there not long ago. And we're going to use that to our advantage. So I'll love a pullback to retest this low here. Lovely level of support, 99.5. It would be very, very beautiful if we could see a pullback all the way up there and get the retest. But yeah, I'm struggling to see where we get that move from now, because I think Aussie being pretty weak. So if I do drop to the hourly chart, you can see no break of structure, no indication that even this hourly trend is about to turn. We could still very much see another drop this afternoon. So everything is still looking pretty bearish for Aussie yen. I think I need some Aussie strength out of somewhere to get this pullback. I mean, more importantly, yen weakness. But yeah, I am very bearish. I like Aussie yen as well. So if this one does pull back, I'll be very much interested in some short opportunities. As I said, I'm not too bothered which yen pair I trade, because they'll all pretty much do the same thing. As long as the trade I do take is a good trade and it fits my criteria well, I'm not really too bothered which yen pair it is. And yeah, I'm looking for shorts around here. 99.5 lines up very well with 0.618. It'll be a very healthy pullback. Of course, retesting that prior low and then trying to find that next lower high in this sequence. One over there, second. Hopefully you can find a third, retesting that same area. So that's really the plan with Aussie yen. So a really nice trade opportunity. It's just whether we'll get that pullback or not. But again, some really healthy price action on the weekly chart. As you can see, very confident close there to the downside, breaking out that range. So I do think it's a matter of time before Aussie yen does come back and test that prior low there, which is around 94. So drop back to the 4-hour chart. Still got a bit of a way to go before we do hit some higher time frame levels. Yeah, so Aussie yen still looking very, very good as well. If I go take a look at its partner in crime, which is New Zealand yen, if I can spell it correctly. There we go. Nope, that's not it. That's much better. So New Zealand yen, similar situation with this one. As you can see, beautiful breakout of the range. Will be nice if price can come back and retest it. Yeah, it's just looking so bearish. So I probably won't see the pullback I'm after. Yeah, with these ones, but we'll see. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. And again, we're not fortune tellers. We're just waiting for opportunities. You map out your setups where you want to buy and sell from. Then it's just a waiting game for price to get there. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. The worst thing to get involved with is waiting for an opportunity, but you feel like it's not going to set up or it's not going to happen. So then you try and find a trade somewhere else, and that's just fear of missing out in a nutshell. And you go take some unnecessary trades, take some unnecessary losses, when you're much better off waiting for the trade to align with your setup. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with New Zealand yen as well. In terms of targets, looking for a push back to the low here at 85.5. It would just be nice to get that pullback. But yeah, looking at the hourly chart as well, structure still looks pretty bearish to me. We tried to break through the high there, and we kind of did, but very half-heartedly. And it looks like we're still very much struggling at that area. So hey, we might see another drop this afternoon as well with both Aussie yen and New Zealand yen. But you can see how consistent we've been with these lower highs on the hourly chart. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 8 there as well for another drop. So just being very consistent in this channel. And as long as that remains, intact, it's easily another drop to the day. Yeah, just looking for those bigger pullbacks, but not on the cards at the moment. If I go take a look at dollar yen, another yen pair, of course, expecting similar move as well. As I talked about yesterday, I said this looks like a nice place to short. I don't think we quite got there. Yeah, it's a nice area of supply where we paused for a few hours before we did see a nice big drop. I said this looks like a nice place to short from, and still we might see another push up high to go and tag that area before selling off. So I think if you are looking to trade dollar yen on the short side of things, still keep a close eye on 151.5 because this is still my area of interest. But again, I don't think we'll get the pullback there. 153.5 is still where I would like to get involved with. If I whip out the old fib from the high to the low, got the 0.618 in that area. It's kind of where I want to take my positions. But yeah, on a more realistic point of view, we might just see a pullback in this case and then continue from there. So I think shorts look good from 151.5. Shorts look great from 153.5 as well. But yeah, I'm pretty confident with the bearish bias with dollar yen as well. As you can see on the weekly time frame, really impressive bearish close there as well. Good chance that this week's candle is probably going to close bearish too. I know I'm saying that it's Thursday already and we're still just looking a little bit bullish, but I still think there's a good chance we close bearish. And if we don't close bearish this week, there's a good chance we close bearish next week as well. Either which way, there's a good chance of more downside. So yeah, that's why you're looking for the shorts, expecting more downside. And those two areas look like really healthy areas to get some shorts in. And if we take a look at CHF JPY as well, this is another yen pair which I really like because of where we're trading. This one's at all-time highs. So if we zoom out, prior all-time highs from 1979, you can see we're trading above that. In the world of FX, when we do make new all-time highs or new all-time lows, we don't tend to sustain them for too long before coming back down. If you go look back through a wide range of currency pairs, you'll see that when we do make new highs and new highs and new all-time lows, we do revert back pretty soon after. Of course, some occasions you will get bigger breakouts like CHF JPY did sustain a lot of upside for a few months before the move down, but realistically, we normally do come back down on ourselves. So from a monthly perspective, we're looking for a move down. And then as we drop lower, you can see, we even get this kind of ginormous head and shoulder pattern, which is this left shoulder over here, head over there, and right shoulder over there. And of course, that would be your neckline there as well. So if CHF JPY can break through this too, then yeah, well, very high chance we're going to keep selling off. And 158 is kind of where we got that prior all-time high. So that's what we're expecting price to get to, but realistically a lot further as well. So yeah, very bearish with CHF JPY as well. If I drop back to the 4-hour chart, in terms of the setup I'm after, still looking at kind of a retest of this low here. If I whip out the fib from the high to the low, you can see it lines up pretty well in between the 0.5 and the 0.618. So those are the areas which I would like to get involved with and see that next lower high in that sequence. So it would be very nice if you can get that. I really like the move yesterday from CHF JPY. Lovely double bottom, really strong move to the upside. So, are we going to form a higher low here and try and push? Potentially. I'm not really interested in the buys, so that's not a trade for me. But if we can continue that would be great. Get back to the highs there, 172.5. And again, looking for some entries in that area, stops above the high. And then, of course, looking to trail probably look to close 50% back at the low here, just in case we do bounce, and that'll be a pretty good trade in itself. But then I'll leave the other half just to run, and I'll be very loose with that stop loss because I can afford to be already booked partials from the trade. So it's not a situation where, if price does turn around, I walk away with nothing. So I can really be aggressive with the trading stop. In a similar situation, I'm doing that with CADGen at the moment. The current price is all the way down here, but my stop loss is still around here, just above just above 109.5. So I'm being pretty loose with that stop loss there as well because the opportunity warrants it. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the yen pairs. Haven't seen much retracement, to be honest. We did see a bit of upside yesterday, but the retracement I'm looking for hasn't really come into fruition just yet. But hopefully that can shape up pretty soon and can get some sells later on, probably next week at this point in time. Maybe NFP might give us a bit of a boost and we speed things up. But yeah, very bearish in that regard. I'll take a look at the basket and the index in a second. What's up, Ben? Good morning. Hope you're well. Hey, yeah, 100K Bitcoin to those who celebrate. Yeah, to those who are holding. Yeah, I mean, it's impressive stuff in Bitcoin to hit 100K. Very impressive. I mean, it was pretty much expected since we get to 99.8K, then we retrace. It's almost comical. So 100K was very likely to be hit anyway. But yeah, now it's kind of like, what's next for Bitcoin? Now we've hit 100K. One Bitcoin's worth 100,000 USD. What's the next big milestone? Is it 1 million potentially? Of course, we're still a long way away from that, but who knows? Literally, who knows? We could be trading at 1 million for one Bitcoin, which is insane. That's still 10x from where we are right now. But yeah, Bitcoin looking very, very bullish, and there's still a lot of momentum for Bitcoin, which is the key thing as well. We don't slowly drag and hit 100K. We did it with a lot of force. So I think price is still a lot more upside. I think this is a nice opportunity here if price would be kind enough to pull back. But we've been seeing a lot of higher lows here. So pullbacks there do look pretty reasonable. But yeah, probably a lot more upside in the tank for Bitcoin. And look at Ethereum as well. And I think Ethereum is looking very interesting too. This one's still nowhere near the all-time highs. All-time highs are still all the way up here. So I still think this one's got a good shout to get the ball moving as well. But yeah, very interesting time for crypto. If I take a quick look at the Japanese index, and I'll have a look at the basket as well, also on the topic of the yen pairs. So yeah, okay, would you look at that? So we had a bit of a bullish move down the index, but it's interesting because we haven't seen too much upside for the yen pairs. A little bit of a move yesterday, and we have looked pretty bullish, but essentially looks like this support level is held very well. Now we're coming back into resistance again. So yeah, if we do turn around here, we could be seeing a big drop for the yen pairs again. If we do go and break through, then maybe that might mean a bigger move to the upside for the yen pairs. So these highs are very, very important because if we take them out, then we're probably going to see the index slowly just move to the upside. If we hold them, then we could come back down, right back into support, and then we go through the same cycle again. Is price going to break it? We'll wait and see. But a bit of a strong move to the upside there for the index. In terms of the basket, okay, so this one's still strong at the highs there as well, but of course, we still got some areas which price can come back and retest. So naturally for this one as well, I would be looking at a bigger pullback to 6,500, 6,400, healthy areas for some buys to take price higher. And yeah, so I think yen weakness might still be on the cards just for that pullback purpose, and hope you can see the bigger buys from then onwards, and sells for the yen pairs. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the yen. Still attacking it to the downside, still very bearish across the board. Hey, what's up, Lauda? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. But yeah, still very bearish across the board. And I'll be looking at taking the yen pairs further, but maybe we'll probably do a bit of a pullback now with the index looking bullish, JPY basket failing at these highs there. Maybe we are in for a bit of a move down, which is good because I want that pullback. Being a little bit too bearish. But yeah, the only position I'm still nursing is CAD Yen. I'm still looking to get into a few other positions. Pound CAD is probably the top of the watch list for me right now. Very, very close to give me possible opportunity. We've had a really nice pullback. Again, I like the double top we printed over here from a couple of weeks ago. Big drop to the downside, breaking structure, breaking through the trend line as well, more importantly. And now I'm looking at that first lower high to take price to the downside. I've spoken about this area being a nice level too short from. We're now comfortably trading in that area. So I'm looking for opportunities. I probably will wait for nice double top to form before getting involved. But I have to say, I like how corrective price is right now because we were looking very impulsive when we initially had that first retracement, which originally didn't interest me because if price was going to keep up that impulse momentum, yeah, it's not something I want to short. I want to be shorting corrective pullbacks after impulsive leg. Yeah, that's the pattern, that's the characteristic I'm after. And that impulsive push to the upside has become pretty corrective. So I like the look of that. I'm waiting for a bit more development here before I do short, but the idea is entries in this area, stops above the high, and hopefully a nice swing all the way back down to the low at 1.75. So that is the short I am after, keeping a close eye on that. It's trading at a nice area, healthy pullback. I believe we probably hit the 0.618 now. If I draw the fib from the high to the low, yeah, just about coming to 0.618. So it's a healthy place to short from. Just waiting for a bit more development and confirmations before I do click the trigger. And yeah, hopefully I can get some nice shorts back to the low, back to where we came from. Yes, I'm still interested in pound CAD and USD. Pound CAD is still definitely a nice opportunity, which I'm looking at, which we just discussed there. Like I said, still waiting for a bit more development before finding entries. Hopefully, maybe a nice double top forms before I do take the trade. But yeah, I'm looking to try and catch that lower high. Or the first high, I should say, because we actually created new highs there before the break of structure. So the first lower high in this bearish sequence, looking for it to form around here, then hopefully you can get some nice shorts back into the low. But yeah, pretty bearish on pound CAD, and it's in a nice area to short from. Pound USD, I'm still long bias as well, but it's not quite setting up for me in terms of an entry. I'm definitely very much interested in buying it, but I don't really have an opportunity to do that just yet. Again, I did speak about the double bottom yesterday as still a nice opportunity for a buy. So if price was to push back down, back into 1.25, I'll be more than happy to take some buys on that retest there. Again, a little bit aggressive since momentum's still with the bears, but we're trading in a nice area. I'm happy to risk it because the risk reward makes sense. But it's a nice area, so I'll be looking at that. I did say originally I was looking for the higher low, but just the risk reward wasn't quite there for me. I was getting about 0.8 back to the high there, which is not great. I want at least a 1-to-1 so I can start to move my risk forward. But yeah, with pound USD, it's not quite set up for me. I'm still very much interested because of the location and how we're moving. We had the break of structure not long ago, but price isn't really doing its thing right now for me. So I have to stay patient and keep an eye on that. But pound CAD is, and yeah, if pound CAD can set up how I want it to do, could be a trade at some point this week, or if not early next week. What's up, Kingsley? Welcome to the stream. Good to hear from you as well. Hope you're doing good. Yes, I will go through Aussie, New Zealand dollar, and Aussie CAD, no problem. Lauder, oh, okay, ready short pound CAD from 1.78990. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Do you have a target for that, Lauder, or are you looking to trail? Let us know. But you said you're short from 1.78990. We'll go through Aussie, New Zealand dollar, and Aussie CAD. Kingsley, just because I'm on Aussie, on pound CAD, so it's easy. But 1.789. So that's approximately around there-ish. So yeah, really nice entry there, Lauder. Really nice entry. Price had a nice rejection down the 4 hour, left behind a pretty big wick. So it looks like we're having a lot of trouble at those prices from a 4 hour perspective. Like I said, price is still so corrective on the way up. So there's a good chance we probably do get a nice short here. Um, but yeah, I'm looking at a similar move as well. Like I said, I'm waiting for a bit more development before I do click the trigger. But I'm looking at a swing back to the low there. And I like our corrective price is as well. So there's a good chance of us seeing some downside, at least back to the low end of this channel here, which is 1.782. You can see some high lows developing here. It's a pretty good chance for us to at least get moved back down there. And then, of course, maybe we break out of that. Maybe we come back up again. But logically speaking, it looks like pound CAD's getting ready for a move down. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing there for pound CAD order, looking pretty good. Hopefully some more downside for you, and hopefully I can look to join you as well. Okay, yeah, we do have CAD employment rate tomorrow as well. So yeah, I suppose if you're looking to trade CAD, that is definitely something to keep an eye out for. If you're looking to swing CAD as well, because CAD unemployment rate will definitely cause a bit of feathers to rustle. But yeah, CAD employment rate, nothing to deter me away from taking a trade. Even if it's CAD interest rate decision, I probably still look to get involved. Um, and yeah, that's just the reality of a swing trade because it's very hard to avoid news altogether. But anyway, pound CAD, that's the bias. If I take a look at Aussie, New Zealand dollar, so this one's had a pretty big move down. I believe we've just broken through the lows there. Just about, yeah. So some pullbacks for Aussie, New Zealand dollar look good for some shorts. Basically like a big head and shoulder pattern, really. Because of course you got the left over there, you got the head over there, and of course you got the right shoulder, which potentially could look to form. So I'd like to see a bit of a pullback now for Aussie, New Zealand dollar, and take some shorts. Maybe lines up pretty well with that resistance down the left. We'll have to, it's yet to be seen. But I like this opportunity here for Aussie, New Zealand dollar. I don't normally look to trade this pair, but when it does have its opportunities, I do take my trades because at the end of the day, I'm just looking for a good opportunity. It doesn't really matter which pair it comes from, but just because of how it moves, I don't get a lot of opportunities. But you can see we've just about taken out a high there. Really struggled at the high and sustain that price. Really big impulsive move to the upside, but shortly followed even more impulsive move back down again. So it looks like we had a really big inverse V-shaped pattern, which resembles a reverse opportunity. So I do like the shorts here. And if I expand to the weekly chart, actually, you can see we've been trying to break through major resistance for a while. It altogether looks like price is just fading. So there's a lot of downside on the cards for Aussie, New Zealand dollar. If we're going to sustain these prices, there's a big drop to be had. So, all kind of paints the picture for the shorts. And it leaves behind a nice area of confluence at around 1.08, 0800. So, yeah, for Aussie, New Zealand dollar, I'll be looking at pullbacks to this area, monitoring price, see what type of price action we can get. If things look good, hopefully some nice entries. At least take it back to the low there, back into the neckline, so-called. We could very much go a lot further than that, at least booking some profits there, especially in a pair like Aussie, New Zealand dollar, because we consolidate for fun here. So, we might eventually see the break, but it could be after a long period of consolidation. So you might want to book some profits. I'm not too sure about the interest rate differential. I'm not too sure if shorting is positive swaps or not. But either way, it's a nice opportunity. So keep an eye on that. Hey, what's up, Tom? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Okay, I'll go through Aussie CAD and I'll come back to that pound CAD question. Okay, looking to trail. Nice. Yeah, it's definitely an opportunity where we could go very far. So trading stops is definitely not a bad idea. I mean, I'll be using trading stops as well if I can get an entry. So yeah, in terms of Aussie CAD, Aussie CAD for me, we're coming to an area where we might see a bit of a bounce, but we had a pretty strong move to the downside yesterday. So it looks like we are breaking through the channel. So yeah, that's a very strong kind of closure. And if we can keep that up, it could be the start of a pretty big down move for Aussie CAD. So I haven't been a big fan of this uptrend. It's been very corrective. Hence, I haven't really been looking for buying opportunities and following that trend because I do think it's coming to an end and we could be seeing another lower high and possibly another swing, as such, back to the lows here. And I've been waiting for a big break of this trend line, which we kind of got yesterday. The reason why I say kind of is because we left behind a pretty big wick there, which is not the best sign of things. So I would like price to kind of fill that and continue lower. And then hopefully there could be some nice pullbacks and retests on some of the lows. And we look to carry that trend further. But yeah, Aussie CAD to me looks like there's a lot more downside to be had. Very consistent with the lower highs here, but I would like price to really commit lower first. Really commit to the downside first before I would then look for opportunities to trade it. So a big move like that, pullbacks afterwards, try and find the next lower high in this bearish sequence, and then of course we'll be on our way. But yeah, Aussie CAD to me, after yesterday's close is showing me bearish signals here. And as long as we don't kind of close right back above today or tomorrow, then yeah, you're looking at likely a break to the downside and hopefully a lot more short. So it looks to me that CAD pairs are getting ready for some big sells. Aussie CAD breaking that trend line is an indication of more downside to come. New Zealand CAD sort of did that. It did do it last week. It's just that it came back above, so that was a bit of a red flag there for the sells. So it depends if New Zealand CAD can continue or does it bounce. But overall, I'm pretty bearish. Euro CAD, I'm looking for sells. Pound CAD, I'm looking for sells. Aussie CAD, I'm looking for sells. New Zealand CAD, if you can break the trend line again, then yeah, I'll start looking to sell. But this is very much an area of support for New Zealand CAD at the moment. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie CAD. A little bit more downside to confirm momentum is really with the bears, and then hopefully some retest, and we try and find that next low high and just continue that bearish sequence there. So that's really the plan with Aussie CAD. What's up, Will? Good morning. Good morning. All right, no worries, my man. Take care. Glad to see you on the stream though. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie CAD. In terms of pound CAD, so yeah, I'm looking for a lower high. You said you're looking for a higher high, Tom. Isn't pound CAD making 4-hour structure higher high and higher lows? I mean, it depends what structure you're looking at. If you're looking at the structure here, yes, it is higher highs and higher lows, but that's to me very minor. And I'd probably look at that in terms of the hourly chart, in terms of higher highs and higher lows in the hourly. The 4-hour swings I'll be looking at is mainly the swing lows here, that low, that high, that low, which just broke structure to the downside. And now I'm looking for a lower high for a short. So yes, you're right. We are making higher highs and higher lows, but that's to me more hourly chart swings. And the structure I'm looking to follow is this swing here. And yes, we're making higher highs and higher lows as we push up. And, we're going to have to be. If price is going to have a meaningful pullback, we are going to make higher highs and higher lows along the way there on lower time frames. But this is the swing I'm after, so I don't expect this bullish trend to last for too long because I'm expecting to form a low high and continue with that bigger swing, which we had not long ago. So yes, you're right. There are higher highs and higher lows, but it depends which structure you're looking to follow because there's market structure within the market structure. With different time frames, looking at the major swings, minor swings. So you can definitely get lost in the source, but this is the swing I'm looking to follow. So I'm looking for a lower high there for a short. And if price continues making higher highs and higher lows and I don't get the setup I'm after, then of course I stay out of the market. But yeah, I'm looking to short. But the higher highs and higher lows are more attribute to hourly chart rather than 4-hour. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with those CAD pairs in general. Okay, took a position on UJ, by the way. Didn't you have a dolly and sell earlier this week, Will? Okay, but now I'll take a look at pound yen as well. But yeah, I do like UJ to the downside. I spoke about two areas before we started the streams this week on my weekly analysis. This being 151.5, and of course 153.5. This is still the area which I would like to short from. It's just prices had such a big drop. We're trading pretty far away from that, so it doesn't look like we'll probably see a pullback there, unfortunately. But it looks like we could get a retracement to here. We were pretty close there yesterday before coming back down. There's still a possibility we might see a push back up. I'm dropping to the hourly chart. We did break structure yesterday, take out the highs here. Potentially we could form a higher low and push on. So there is a possibility for that deeper retracement. Of course, we could still very much fall to the downside as well. But I like this area because we consolidated for a few days. For a few hours, and had a really big drop from it. So it's a nice area where sellers will be sitting. And if we break through that, we've always got this opportunity higher up, which will give us a much better risk reward if it does play out back to the low and hopefully a lot further. But yeah, I'm extremely bearish with CAD Yen. As I spoke previously, really strong close on the weekly chart, a lot of momentum in that bearish candle. There's a very high chance that that momentum spills over to this week's candle, which is currently still pretty bullish at the moment. But I do think there's a good chance it probably does close bearish by the end of the week, or maybe next week's candle we see the momentum continue. But either which way, there's a good chance that momentum continues to spill over and we see more downside. So very bearish on dollar yen, just about timing the shorts really. And these two areas stand out to me in terms of nice levels to short. Okay, took profits, but the big pullback. Nice. Yeah, so hopefully we can see the next phase. I think there's still a lot more downside for the yen pairs, and that's still very much the plan for the next kind of, if my bias does serve me correctly, that my plan is to short the yen pairs probably for the next 3 to 6 months, really, that horizon, unless something changes, of course, and I'll change with it. I'm not going to just look to short for the next 3 to 6 months mindlessly, but yeah, with the higher time frames and how things are situated, it looks like we could see a really big drop for the yen pairs. So yeah, that's still the plan there. I'll take a look at GJ for Benal, and then we'll go through some of the crosses, see what they're doing. So yeah, pound yen, it's a similar situation in terms of looking for the bigger pullback and then short to the downside. High time frames still look very bearish. We saw a lot of momentum on the weekly chart the past few weeks, and I'm looking at this being the first lower high and potentially a new bearish trend, because market's still bullish in terms of market structure. This is still our most recent high low, which gave us our high, and the market hasn't broken through that, still respecting structure. But it's so impulsive the way we drop to the downside. Characteristics are changing. We're seeing more corrected behavior to the upside and more impulsive moves back down. And the key thing as well is about where we're trading as well. Taking out such a major high here, I do think we can go through a big sell, just like we did back over here. Took out a major high, and exactly what happened after, huge sell to the downside. So I think probably going to repeat the pattern to a similar effect and see some downside for pound yen. So I'm looking at this being the first lower high, and if that's the case, you're expecting us to come right back down into the lows here. So if I drop to the 4-hour chart, we're just looking for a pullback to time that, and this is still my area of interest. Healthy pullback back into the 0.5, back into the 0.618. These are the areas where I'll look to situate, take some shorts, stop loss above the high, and then of course you're on your way back to the lows, and hopefully we can stretch it a little bit further back to 184 as well. So yeah, I want to see a bit more pullbacks on some of these yen pairs to get those shorts from after. But the idea is very much still the same, looking at more downside and a push back to the lows there. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the yen pairs. Hopefully we can see a bit more retracement. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with NFP on Friday. Whether maybe NFP might give us a bit of a kick, but we shall see. But yeah, in terms of some of the crosses, so yeah, still, we had a look at Aussie New Zealand dollar, which I like. Euro pound, still not really a pair which I'm looking at, to be honest. I know it's trading at a really nice area, but still looking pretty bearish to me. Again, if I could expand to the monthly chart, in the same level which I keep going on about, but such a big level. We've seen price turn around here on numerous occasions. We could do that again, or we could very much get the breakout. And I'll wait for us to get that breakout. I'll wait for us to see that strong monthly candle close below, and then I'll be sold on that potential breakout, and I'll be looking at shorts, of course. But for now, not quite sold there just yet. We're still trading in that same area, and very much we could see a bullish close in December. So I'm looking for buying opportunities for euro pound, but as I drop to lower time frames, we're still seeing lower lows, we're still seeing lower highs. So the buys aren't very much there yet. In fact, we're actually respecting resistance pretty well. As you can see, support has been flipped, turned into resistance, and I do think there's a good chance we actually go and pinch the low here. But if we can go and create some highs and take out structure, then I'll be bullish and looking for that higher low somewhere to take to the upside. And this is really the opportunity I'm after with Euro Pound, which is probably a way away, maybe 2 or 3 weeks away before we do form something like that. But again, Euro Pound is not a opportunity. It's not a pair which I want to be taking every opportunity anyway. I want to be looking for the better ones because I know with a pair like Euro Pound, it corrects a lot, it chops around a lot. So I want momentum to really be on my side first before I do take any positions. But yeah, it still looks pretty bearish. It has a nice reaction off that low there. Maybe it might go and pinch the prior lows there on the left. And if we keep falling, and I'll reassess and go from there. But that's still kind of what I'm waiting for. Whether it will happen or not is yet to be seen. But that keeps me safe, keeps me not getting into any buys too prematurely. And if we do break the high, that's a sign that, okay, we can step into the market more confidently and probably take some bigger buys to the upside anyway. So there is that opportunity there in Euro Pounds, but I think Aussie New Zealand dollar looks a lot better. The trade that keeps elevating. I'm doing good, Holy One. Hope you are well. I like that. I like that little phrase there. The trade that keeps elevating. I hope that goes for everyone here on the street. But I'm doing good. How are you? Welcome. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Euro Pound. But yeah, as I spoke about Aussie New Zealand dollar, this one looks a lot better. Really big head and shoulder pattern looks like it's forming. You can see we tested that same resistance twice on 2 separate occasions. And now we've had a bit of a fake out there. And prices come straight back down. So I'm looking for us to come back and retest that same area. And hopefully get a nice little short back to the low here, which is the neckline of the pattern. So I like what we're doing here for Aussie, New Zealand dollar. And more importantly, I like where we're located. Because head and shoulder patterns are great patterns, but they can be rubbish patterns if you trade them in inappropriate places, like in the middle of a range. That's literally the worst way to use a head and shoulder pattern. If you've got a big ranging market like this, and we start to form a head and shoulder pattern in the middle of a range, that's just not going to perform well in the long run. Of course, every situation is unique. It could play out very well potentially, but if you take that trade 100 times versus a trade where we've got, say, a longer term bearish trend, and then you see a head and shoulder pattern in favor of that bearish trend, this pattern here is going to work out very well over the 100 trades compared to this situation here. So that's the tricky thing about trading, because you could take a poor setup and it still play out. Then it gives you confidence to keep taking that same poor setup. Then when it doesn't work out in the future, it kind of like, I should keep persisting with it because it worked before. But the logic behind it might be flawed. So need to think about those things. But yeah, it's in a nice place at the top of this range high, struggling to break through. So if we are going to reverse from here, this is kind of where I expect it to happen from, and we can see some downside. If we do break the pattern and break out, then of course, we're probably going to push anyway back to this high, and I'll switch my bias around completely, and I'll be looking at pullbacks on the way up. But for now, that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie, New Zealand dollar. In terms of like pound Aussie and euro Aussie, last time I checked, these guys are looking pretty bullish. Yeah, a really strong close. Was that yesterday's candle? Yeah, really strong close to the upside for pound Aussie. Looks like we're on a one-way street back to the high here. Interesting stuff from pound Aussie. Wasn't expecting the market to be so bullish, but hey, it looks like we are still keeping up with those higher lows. 1, 2, 3, 4. And looks like we're trying to push back to the highs now as well. So yeah, pound Aussie looking very bullish. Not much to do really, because this to me looks like a range. So I wouldn't want to be trading inside of that. If I'm looking to do anything with pound Aussie, they'd probably try and look for some sells back at the high there. Again, shorter term, not looking to hold on it for too long, because I understand the trend is still very much up. So if I do catch some shorts here, it's for a more shorter term move, but it makes sense given how price is moving. So yeah, for pound Aussie, I wouldn't be looking to do anything at current price, but if we do keep slowly moving to the upside. I think 1.99, 1.995 could be a nice place to take some shorts, maybe for a few days, call it a day, and then maybe we move on from there. But I think that's still a nice opportunity there for pound Aussie. And then if I take a look at its partner in crime, pound NZD, which is looking pretty bullish as well. Bit annoyed with this one because I did have a nice bullish setup, but looks like it didn't have quite enough juice to give me the setup I was after. So again, you can see the high lows price has been making, connect it with the trend line. First test there, second over there, third. And was looking for price to come back and retest the high along with the trend line. But unfortunately, we just missed it. Well, I say just, it's quite a bit of a distance there, but I was expecting price to come a little bit deeper, but take the buy from here and then see if we can take it back to the highs. But looks like we're very bullish without needing that retest. So yeah, looks like we could be seeing a push back to the high in a similar situation as pound Aussie as well, seeing a push back to the high. But it's left behind some nice areas for some buys. Should we revisit that, come back for a retest? I think that's a nice place to take price back to the upside, back to 2.19 and maybe further as well. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with those two currency pairs. Okay, good to hear, Holy One. Euro pound yesterday sells 32 pips. Yeah, we just had a look at Euro pound. Still looking like it's slowly falling to the downside. Currently AJ sell and USD CAD yesterday before it reversed. Okay, nice. Okay, so yesterday before it. Oh, okay, 18 pips in dollar CAD. So you're still currently in Aussie yen and in dollar CAD. I mean, I've been looking to get involved with Aussie yen sales as well, but that's just been absolutely tanking. In terms of the intraday price action, I think it's been very, very tidy. Was it Aussie yen or New Zealand yen? I think it might be New Zealand yen. But I'm entering in the wrong area. Yeah, I think the price action, the low time frames were very, very clean, especially New Zealand dollar and New Zealand yen, sorry. But yeah, really nice low lows and low highs. We'll go over New Zealand yen. Very consistent low lows and lower highs there. But yeah, the yen pair's just been very, very bearish. So it's just unfortunately haven't been able to take advantage of that because yeah, the bigger pullbacks I've been looking for just have been hard to come by. Okay, you're in Aussie yen trying to get the lowest. Okay, so you're trying to get that wick low. Was that from yesterday or the day before? Wednesday, yeah, that was yesterday. So you're trying to aim for this wick here around 90, 95 something. So yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. If that trend is going to continue, we most likely are going to get back to the low. I think the key thing with Aussie yen is that we're still respecting the highs. So double top there, and the lower high there, and the lower high there. Looks like prices forming another lower high. So there's a good chance we do roll over and see that push there anyway. So yeah, to me, it looks like a solid opportunity. As long as that trend remains intact, probably are going to see a push back to the low there, probably this afternoon as well. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good, Holy One. I like it. I like it a lot. Again, I'm waiting for the bigger pullbacks. You can see why the arrow is there. I'm waiting for price to hopefully have a retest of that area, but it looks pretty unlikely now. I mean, I've been waiting for this pullback for at least a week, but it looks like Aussie yen and the other yen pairs have just been slowly falling, and maybe we just keep doing that. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not going to complain too much because I'm still shorting CAD yen. So as we still do keep falling, that trade does very, very well. But I would be looking at trying to find additional entries to try and really maximize the opportunity. I don't really care too much about which pair I take. If I get back into Aussie yen and add more positions, or if I take a trade in Aussie yen, CAD yen, sorry, or Euro yen or pound yen, it's all very much the same situation. But yeah, the bigger pullbacks is what I'm after. Anyway, in terms of Euro Aussie, so yeah, still not a big fan of this one. We have pinched that low not long ago, and we have seen a pretty strong reaction since then. So as I did say, I'm looking for a bigger pullback for a short. I talked about two areas where we might see some downside from. This was the first area. It looks like price actually breaking above that. So unless we get back below, we might actually be using this as support to push on. And this area here as well. So these are the two areas where I said there might be some nice shorts for Euro Aussie, because again, I'm looking at a bigger move to the downside for this one. But we need to be, far away from the lows here, because this is where the buyers are pushing very, very well from, as you can see, respected it in two very well occasions there. So I like the shorts for Euro Aussie. There's still a lot of momentum to the downside, but we need to be respecting these areas, not holding them as support, which price is doing right now. So unless we can flip bearish and get back below, or have a bigger pullback to this area 1.658, then I think that would be a nice place to get involved with and see some downside. Again, not necessarily see a swing all the way back to the lows. We're not looking for that necessarily. Can trail stops and maybe you do capitalize on such a big move. But the idea is that we're shorting from areas where we expect a reaction to be. How big that reaction is unknown. And that's the beauty of trading stops, is that it might be a small reaction. You take a small win, might be a big reaction. And if you trail stop very well, could capitalize on a really big move. So yeah, that's the idea here with Euro Aussie. Not really playing ball at this level, but if we do push a little bit higher, could be some nice shorts up here at 1.6655. No way. What's up, Cease Integrated? Whereabouts are you on vacation? Watching a stream in the hotel lobby. Cease Integrated, you're on holiday and you're watching streams about FX. You're one dedicated man, I have to tell you that for free. Should be joining your missus shopping. What's up, Blessing? Hope you're well. Take a look at Euro Yen and Euro USD. Okay, we'll take a look. Deep pullback, I'll start to hedge. Okay, use the old hedge technique. Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know. I mean, I think we're probably more likely going to see a push to your targets rather than get the bigger pullback I'm looking for, just because of how bearish everything has been with the yen pairs. Because I've been looking for the pullback for at least a week now, but we've been slowly falling. And the thing is with the yen pairs, which you touched on numerous occasions, when the yen pairs sell, they don't mess around. They just sell off like there's no tomorrow. They normally grind higher. As you can see, they take their time on the way up, but when it's time to sell, they don't mess around. So that's kind of my worry with the yen pairs in terms of the pullbacks I'm after. They might just keep falling, and I don't see that deeper pullback. So I'll stay patient, not trying to force anything, of course. I'll be there and waiting if they do, but yeah, I've got a feeling they might just keep dropping. But yeah, I'm sure you got things in place to limit that drawdown. But yeah, we'll go take a look at a couple more of the crosses I was supposed to go through. Then I'll go through some requests. So yeah, Blessing, I'll take a look at Euro Yen and Euro USD for you. William, no problem, my man. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Okay, you're in Malaysia. Wow. Malacca. Never heard of it before, but hey, I'm sure it's beautiful. I mean, most places in Malaysia are, so it's difficult to go wrong there. Okay, I had to trade a bit of Forex with expenses. Mr. to spend. Fair enough. Nothing comes free. Andrea, pound USD. Okay, I'll take. How long are you there for? CS integrated. DXY showing some nice weakness, but still, yeah, I agree. Very much careful for NFP tomorrow. Yeah, I'm still looking at the same bounce across the board for the USD pairs, looking for the weakness on USD, and then a bit of a bounce for the USD majors. But let me quickly go through Euro and ZD, and then I'll go through some of your requests, guys. But yeah, Euro and ZD, yeah, this price action is all over the shop. I'm going to be honest. It's been a while before I've spoken with people who's looking to trade it, and rightly so, because it just looks like a big mess, to be honest. This is your range high, that's your range low, and just trading in it. Looks like we're kind of ranging within the range as well, which is horrendous. But yeah, I did like the neckline here. If we could break through that low, I think there could be a solid opportunity for some shorts back into the low here. A really nice swing opportunity. But yeah, it doesn't really look like it's cooking up that way. We're looking pretty bullish now. Maybe you can push back into the high here around 1.8067. That looks like a nice place for a short. But again, because of how we're trading and how we're moving around, I would be looking at short-term opportunities because nothing's really clear here. The only reason why I'll look to swing a trade for, for a lot of pips is if I'm confident with the swing and confident with the overall direction of the market. If I don't get a good read of that, then I want to be taking my profit a little bit quickly. Probably won't be using trading stops at that point. And USD is one of those pairs which I don't have a really good read of what the long-term move is. Unless we break out the range, then yeah, that's a different situation. So it could be some nice shorts as we do approach 1.806, and likewise, if we can break through the low here, could be some nice shorts on the retest. But besides from that, I would stay away from this pair. To be frank, it's not moving well, or at least to what I'm looking for. Anyway, I'll go through some of the quests. So we'll take a look at Euro Yen and Euro USD for blessing. Andrea will go through pound as well. We'll go through some USD pairs. Yeah, of course, that's the beauty of FX anywhere in the world. Quick withdraw and pay for your goods within hours. Yeah, very true. Very, very true. And that's the benefits of the profession, which is why I was so attracted to it in the beginning, is the flexibility of it. It's very hard to find a profession or a way to make money that's as flexible as this. And you don't need employees as well. You don't have to worry about paying for employees too, which is it's really one in a million type of thing. Anyway, let's go through some USD pairs. So DXY. So yeah, DXY, I'm looking at some shorts. I didn't quite get to my area yesterday. I was looking for a little bit more upside back to 106.8 at least, back into the area before the sell. But it looks like we kind of just double topped here. I like the wicks there on the 4-hour chart. Aggressive wicks to the upside, came back again, a couple more aggressive wicks. Now it looks like price is slowly just about to roll over back to the low. So yeah, in my book, dollar has a good chance of seeing more downside, whether we do push up one more time or not. Either which way, I do expect to drop. We could see it very much from now, or maybe we do push up. Maybe NFP makes us push higher, then we sell off. But I am looking at still a push into the low at 105.6, 105.4, maybe even down here to 104.6 as well. But the key thing is on the weekly chart, very strong bearish engulfing last week, doing a very good job at holding onto this resistance level. So to me, I do expect the bigger move to be to the downside for USD. And yeah, and that could take us a lot. That could take us a lot further as well if you really do sell off from the weekly time frame. But for now, this is the setup I'm looking at. Pound USD has been slowly pushing to the upside. The setup yesterday didn't really give me the risk reward I was after. If I did take a trade here, I would be looking at I think a 0.8, a 1 to 0.8, which isn't particularly great for me. At least the 1 to 1 would be nice, back to the high there. So that's why I didn't take the trade. But hey, it would be working out pretty well right now. But who knows? We could very much sell off from this level, come back down again. But yeah, I'm very bullish on pound. I did suggest yesterday that if price was to come all the way back down for a double bottom at 1.25, I'll be more than happy to look for some entries there. The plan is look for the higher low or the double bottom, because I'm looking for pound USD to come back into 1.285. I spoke on the weekly chart about where we're trading. We're in an area where it looks good for a higher low to form. Look at the previous higher lows. We're in that area again. And as like I said as well, we broke structure as well. So that's a key indication that the buyers are coming back into the market. Sellers are not so strong anymore. And we're due a pullback as well. The market's so stretched and overextended to the downside. It's due a meaty pullback at some point. So yeah, pound USD very bullish on. I think if we can break the highs, there might be some nice intraday pullbacks after that. So break the highs, pullbacks. Yeah, that could be a nice little trade to look at for maybe on the 30, 15-minute time frame, maybe even below that as well. There might be some opportunities there to ride it. But yeah, still looking at more upside there for pounds. But yeah, going across the board, Euro USD, I haven't been as a bigger fan as Euro as pound, and it's for the reason that we didn't get the break of structure. Otherwise, it's actually been a better pullback for Euros. A nice sell off at the start of the week, nice shift of momentum, formed a nice little double bottom there. We dropped to the hourly chart, see it a bit better. So it formed a low, we tested it, nice reaction. So price is looking pretty bullish there for Euro. And to me, I do think the bigger move now is to the upside. Again, I've highlighted some areas where we could come and test 1.07, 1.076. These are logical areas where I do think we can get the bounce into. And again, the same thing with the DXY. We've come back into a significant low. We've just about wicked through, failed to break through, still holding on to it. So logically speaking, you can probably get a nice bounce of this. And, same with pound, we're very stretched as well. So we're due a pullback. In FX, it's very rare for us to move in one direction for too long before having a healthy pullback. And our last kind of meaningful pullback with Euro was this one here, and that wasn't really much anyway. So, for multiple reasons, we're due a move to the upside for Euro. And it looks like it's slowly coming into place here. I like the double bottom, at least the push back to the high, probably before the end of the week. Of course, NFP will have its say tomorrow. I think probably analysis after NFP will look good for the following week because, everything I'm saying now could go out the window completely tomorrow. So once NFP is said and done, analyzing the chart afterwards could present some really nice opportunities for next week. But in terms of direction, still very bullish. Looks like we are forming a bit of a higher low there. I'm not as much of a fan as the other USD pairs though. So Aussie dollar, it looks like we've just about hit that 0.64 area, which I've been talking about for a while. We've finally come and hit it. Now I do expect us to go for a bit of a bounce and see some upside. But again, I'm not looking to jump straight in. I'm waiting for price to develop a little bit, form some lower highs, break those highs, and then hopefully I can get in a higher low somewhere or a double bottom somewhere, and then try and take some opportunities there to the upside. But we're in an area where I do think it's time to bounce for Aussie dollar. Again, all USD, so they're going to do the same thing. If Euro is going to see a big move up, pound's going to see a big move up. Most likely you're going to see Aussie and New Zealand make the same move, maybe at different speeds because, of course, of their respective strength and weakness of those individual currencies. But you'll see the same move. It comes back down to USD, what USD is doing. So yeah, looking for that move. I think the USD looks a little bit better, really. There's a nice double bottom opportunity for this one. You've got massive swing low there. You respected it once not long ago. Really nice reaction from that. We just about, wicked through those highs there, come back, retest it. Could be a nice double bottom to take New Zealand dollar to the upside. Maybe at least a move back to where we came from there as well, but probably a lot further too. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the USD pairs. They look good for a bit of a bounce. But be careful with NFP tomorrow. If you do take any trades now, is the logic that you're going to get in trade now and then be out the trade by tomorrow afternoon? Or are you going to happy to stay with the news? In that case, make sure you manage your risk. And you probably don't want to be intraday trading because with NFP, if you have like a 10 pip stop loss, sometimes it doesn't even matter if you're in the right direction or not. You could get wicked out either way. If you got a decent stop loss, more of a swing trade, you can get away with it, like myself. But of course, you want to be aware of the risk going into that. Marcus, as the CAD, okay, we'll take a look as well. Okay, you will only enter after NFP. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense there. But yeah, we'll take a look at NSD CAD for you. Yeah, and again, it just comes back to pound being a lot stronger than Aussie and New Zealand dollar. Because of course, if you take a quick look at GBP NZD, Yeah, GBND has seen some nice upside the past few days. So of course, pound is a lot stronger than NZD, and of course, if you take a look at pound Aussie as well, that's looking pretty bullish as well. So it's been a much smoother ride on pound USD compared to those two other currencies. So a bit more cautious with them. Pound is naturally a bit stronger. So especially for an intraday trade, it's probably better to be focusing more on pound USD rather than Aussie New Zealand dollar. But I do expect them to come around soon, but it might not be till after NFP. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with those pairs. If I quickly go over to NZD CAD and have a quick look. Blessing Euro Yen. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'll go take a look. So yeah, with New Zealand CAD, I'm a bit annoyed with this pair because we had a really nice breakout. Ooh, what happened there? That is not what I wanted to do. So yeah, a bit annoyed with this pair because we did have a big break to the downside on the weekly chart. Not last week, the week before, but looks like we closed right back above. So I am unsure of this pair. Are we just faking the low to potentially push up? Could be the case. Or is price just kind of faffing around before we do get the big break to the downside? I'm still anticipating a bigger move to the downside, so that's still where my bias lies. But if the market does go and break through this bearish channel in the 4-hour time frame, then that will be indication that okay, maybe price is actually just holding that low for potentially a big push to the upside. So if you do get a strong break like this for NZD CAD, then I'll be back bullish again, looking for higher lows, breaker structures, retest of highs, and then you're looking for a big move to the upside, potentially back to the high there as well. Because if I zoom out to the daily chart, we do have a bit of a channel here, which the market's been pretty consistent with. Is price just seeing another high low here to get that next phase to the upside? That could be the logic here. And that's the situation which I will lean to if we do break out of this descending channel. If not, we might see another break of the trend line, and that could be the breaker that actually does get us the big sell, and we do sell off. So that's why I'm a bit torn with New Zealand CAD because I'm unsure which way we're probably going to make the move. But I've got a clear plan either which way. If you do see the break of the high, I know I'm bullish. If price does break the trend line again, and especially takes out the lows here as well, then yeah, I'm very much back bearish again, looking for the continuation. So I'm waiting for those setups to shed a bit more light on what we're going to do next. But there's a big move either way, so it's a pair to keep an eye on. Okay, I'll go through Euro Yen. Holy one who took the leap to trade US30, the leap of faith. To be fair, I've been getting on quite. I mean, I haven't got as many trades because I've been trading with the demo account. I've probably only taken about maybe 11 or 12 trades since I've started trading. It's been okay, to be honest. I'll probably start trading it probably in the new year because I've already tested. I've already gone through all the trial and error with US30. The idea of the demo account is just to get into rhythm of taking trades with it because the way I'm trading US30 is a little bit different in terms of how I'm trading FX. With FX, I'm waiting for break of structures, waiting for higher lows before I buy. With US30, I am waiting for the break of structure because from what I've seen, if you wait for the break of structure, price just kind of flies without you. So it's a little bit different. Still the same ideas I'm trading with, but it's just a bit more aggressive in terms of the buy. So I'm just going to try and get used to taking that. And then I'll probably, start in the new year. But I've taken 10, 11 trades. It's been okay. Of course, 10, 11 is not a lot, but the idea is not to take a lot of trades, just to get into the rhythm of actually taking it live with that new style. But yeah, it's been okay so far. So hopefully soon come, and then I can start to add NAS and S&P as well. And just give myself a different flavor because FX is great, gold and silver is great, but indices are a different kind of, opportunity, and they trend very well. So, I do like what I see. But anyway, let me take a look at Euro Yen before Blessing goes crazy. So yeah, Euro Yen, I do like the sells with this one. I'm still very bearish with this market. So where is it? 160. Yeah, 160 is kind of the area I'm looking to get involved with. Lines up very well with the 50 of the fib. So from the high over there to the low down there. I've got the 50 there, I've got the 0.618 there, which lines up very well with this low. Again, it's the same idea which I've been speaking of. We're looking for the bigger retracement for the short. In terms of the intraday price action, you can see we have gone and broke through some structure. It was a really nice double bottom not long ago. We broke the highs there. So I'm looking at a bit of a pullback and now some upside for Euro Yen. And the area which I'm looking to get involved with is these areas here. So again, the plan, the idea hasn't really much changed for about a week now with the yen pairs. We've seen so much momentum to the downside. Now it's just about timing the shorts really. Yeah, just about timing the shorts. So I'm keeping a close eye on those two levels. Hopefully, can get a pullback this week, next week, and then yeah, in terms of targets, still looking for a push back into that daily level of support, which is 155.5. And probably beyond that as well, but that's still the plan with Euro Yen. Let me know if that made sense, or unless you're looking at the lower time frames and want me to spend a bit more time there. But in terms of my personal trading, that's what I'm after. Why not trade UK 100 is just way too choppy. Again, I don't want to say no to UK 100 because I don't know, maybe I do eventually add it to the watch list, but it's just a very choppy market. So I don't like trading. Oh, I don't like trading. I've never traded before. But the times I have spent looking at it, it's never really provided so much confidence to me. And when I look at US 30, when I look at S&P, when I look at NAS, there's a lot of free flowing moves there. And especially for the trading stop strategy I'm looking to implement on those pairs, I could catch some very, very big winners with those. And that's the idea of why I want to trade US 30 and NAS and S&P. With this one, you can still get some big moves, but if you look at how we've moved up, how many times do we keep dipping to the downside? It's very, very annoying. And if with a trading stop, you definitely will get triggered out with these stops here. So it doesn't become very effective to trail stops here. It's actually more effective to probably take profits, even though it's a market that trends higher up. So that's why I'm not a big fan of the UK 100. Again, it's another market that will provide some nice opportunities. So maybe at some point I will look to implement it. But again, if I go over to US 30, which is not perfect as well, but in terms of its moves, it's a lot more cleaner. Then it does have its consolidation, but then you get lovely moves like this. If I can time that well, you could be looking at really, really big risk rewards. S&P as well, a lot cleaner too. So that's why, again, it does have its dips as well, but it's just so much cleaner and easier to trade. So yeah, UK 100 is just a little bit too noisy for me. But yeah, maybe I do eventually add it, but probably not. I think I'll probably look to add the DAX before I look to add UK 100. All right, take care, Holy One. We'll catch you tomorrow. Appreciate you tuning in. I will be live again later today, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I will be live again with Trading Nick on his channel. So if you want to see more of me and see if I do eventually get an entry for Pound CAD and discuss some other things as well, if I've missed anything out, say hi on that stream as well, which will be on his channel. But yeah, Aussie CAD is probably the top of my watch list right now, which I'm looking for entries, trading in a really nice area. We've had a really nice corrective move back into this low here, price support on the left, solid break of that, and now we're coming back to retest it as resistance. So in terms of where my focus lies, yes, it's on a lot of the yen pairs, but the yen pairs haven't retraced yet. Pound CAD, though, has retraced, and it's a nice opportunity, really confident swing to the downside. So there's a lot of potential for this one if it does play out back to the lows. Risk rewards looking pretty good too. So it's definitely a market which I want to be able to get a trade on. Of course, as long as it fits my rules, I'm not going to force anything if it's not there. I'm waiting for a bit more development with this one. I'm not going to get straight in. Maybe we can get a nice double top or some exaggerated wicks. I'll look to try and pounce on a bit of that. And then, yeah, the goal is to try and swing it back into the low down there. But I really like the double top we had, the equal highs here. Price tried to continue the trend some more, failed, broke to the downside. Of course, we broke out that ascending trend line as well. So that, that is had a big break of structure as well. So now I'm looking for the lower high. Maybe price is just continuing bullish and still going to keep pushing to the upside. That could be the case. Anything could be the case when you're trading, but it's just about making sure you're taking trades in probability, with probability in your favor. And if it does play out, the risk to reward makes sense. You're going to make more from the trade if it wins than if it does fail. And that's definitely the case with pound CAD if it is going to be a lower high. So yeah, going to keep a close eye on this one. I like the trade, just not quite there yet. Yeah, so I'm staying patient. All right, nice. Well, I'll keep an eye if you're there. I mean, I probably won't be able to say hi, but yeah, it'd be nice to have some of the boys and girls on next stream. I think I'll be live around 1:45 p.m. UK time. So whenever that lines up with you guys, make sure you say hi. If not, I'll see you guys in the stream tomorrow. But yeah, at the moment, still only nursing. That's what I meant to say. Don't know where nestling came from. I'm still only nursing the CAD Gen position. Again, there's not much for me to do. My trail stop loss is up there still. And I'm not looking to trade it until I see another major high form in. Really, so I'm giving myself the maximum amount of room to trail this trade. But yeah, if I can get some additional entries, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, it's yet to be seen. Hopefully, we can see a bit of retracement. I'm kind of banking on maybe NFP giving us a bit of a push to the upside, and then some sells early next week could be nice. But yeah, that is very much the plan. But guys, we have reached the end of the stream. As I said, I will be live again later today with Nick on his channel. So if you guys are free, come over, say hi. We don't buy it over there. Appreciate you guys coming onto the stream. Tony Gold, appreciate it. Lauda, appreciate it. And of course, everyone else, do appreciate you tuning in. If you have enjoyed the stream, guys, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. It really does help out. Subscribe to the channel, of course. And make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you do check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. You can post your ideas there, share setups, discuss ideas. I'm there as well. So if you are interested in that, check it out. Link to that in the description below and also at the top of the chat as well. So, and you can learn more about the Elevating Traders firm there too. So if you guys are interested, make sure you go check it out. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in today. Have a great day. If I don't see you later today, then I'll see you tomorrow.